Part 9. The Promise Fulfilled. 7 years after John Bell's death, the land of Adams seemed to have regained peace. The Bell family's log house stood silent by the fields, its porch covered in moss, its wooden walls weathered with time. Mary Bell and her children still lived there, trying to build a new life, leaving their painful past in the cracks of memory. The villagers whispered that the spirit Kate had vanished forever, that what once happened was nothing more than a collective nightmare. Yet deep down, no one truly believed this peace would last. That winter night, as the wind howled through the bare trees, the first sound returned. Betsy, now a young woman far more mature than the trembling girl she once was in her small room, was the first to hear it. That night, she awoke suddenly to 3 knocks against the wall right beside her bed. She opened her eyes, straining to listen, thinking it might only be a rat or a branch brushing the house. But then, the knocks came again, slow, deliberate, as if an unseen hand was making a signal. In the suffocating darkness, Betsy heard a faint whisper, like a breath. "I have returned." Her throat tightened, her eyes widened in horror. The old terror flooded back, like a wound never healed. Clutching her blanket, her heart pounding wildly, she dared not scream. The next day, Betsy told her mother. Mary Bell's face turned pale, her trembling hands dropping the wooden cup she held. She had hoped, prayed, that it was all over, but deep down, she knew the spirit had never truly left. News spread quickly through the family, then the village. Everyone remembered the chilling promise. 7 years later, Kate would come back. And indeed, she had kept her word. It wasn't long before strange happenings began again. At night, the family heard footsteps pacing in the attic, though the space was empty. Pots and pans clattered in the kitchen, as if mischievous hands were playing with them. Windows flung open in the freezing dark, letting in gusts of wind along with eerie laughter. Some nights, Mary heard her name whispered right beside her ear, in a rasping female voice. But when she turned, there was only emptiness. Reverend James Johnston, now old and frail, still remembered his first encounter with the spirit. When he heard of Kate's return, he resolved to visit the Bell home once more. That night, the whole family gathered with him in the parlor, candlelight flickering across their anxious faces. Johnston began to pray, but before he could finish, a laugh rang out from the corner of the room. Darkness pressed in, and a cold wind swept through like a gust from the underworld. The familiar voice rose, clear and sharp. "You thought you escaped? I am still here." The Reverend faltered, his hand clutching the Bible trembling. Its pages flipped wildly, though no one touched them. The furniture shook, a bench flew backward, nearly striking the wall. A suffocating force filled the room, leaving everyone gasping for breath. Johnston collapsed, whispering his final prayer, though he knew no holy power could drive this entity away. The rumor of Kate's return once again terrified the people of Adams. They flocked to the Bell house, some curious, others trembling, all desperate to see for themselves. And the spirit seemed to relish the attention. She often spoke aloud to the gathered crowds, mocking them, calling them by name, revealing secrets no one else could have known. Many fled, swearing never to return. Yet some, as if bewitched, kept coming back, hungry to witness the terror. This return did not last forever. After a few months, the disturbances began to fade. The noises softened, the voice grew rare. Finally, she vanished as suddenly as she had appeared, leaving behind a void impossible to explain. People believed it was her last round of torment, that Kate was truly gone. Yet her final words lingered, haunting them. "I will return in 107 years." Time passed, and the Bell family scattered. Some left Adams, seeking new lives elsewhere. The old log house decayed, until only its foundation remained among the fields. The townspeople remembered the story, but across generations, it turned into legend. The young retold it by campfires as a ghost story, half believing, half doubting. The 20th century came, transforming America. The small town of Adams endured, quiet among dirt roads and cornfields. But in the 1930s, strange rumors rose again. People claimed that on moonlit nights, near the land once belonging to the Bells, the shrill laughter of a woman could be heard drifting from the woods. Hunters said they saw a shadow darting among the trees, moving swiftly as the wind without leaving a single footprint. One night, a group of young men dared each other to approach the ruins of the old foundation. They joked and shined their flashlights, but suddenly, the lights went out, the brand-new batteries useless. In the suffocating dark, they heard the familiar 3 knocks on the ground, followed by a whisper, "I promised I would return." The group screamed, scattering into the night. The next morning, they told their story, faces still pale with fear. Many locals swore they too had heard strange noises, knocks at the door at night, footsteps following close behind though no one was there, whispers calling their names. Some claimed they saw a woman in a black dress, hair loose and long, standing silently at the edge of the forest watching them. Yet when they moved closer, she vanished. A local historian recorded all these testimonies. He wrote that the spirit Kate had never left. She merely lingered, waiting, and whenever the time matched her promise, she returned to remind people that some mysteries never fade. The tale of the fulfilled promise became a part of Adam's collective memory. Children grew up hearing it from their elders, each generation adding details, but the fear remained unchanged. People still avoided the Bell Land at night. Even now, some nights, 3 knocks echo from nowhere, reviving the terror of the past. And so, across more than a century, the promise still endures, chilling as on the very first day. Perhaps Kate never disappeared at all. She waits, patient and watchful, keeping true to her words, never leaving this land until the end of time. Part 10. The Legacy of the Bell Witch. Many years have passed since the death of John Bell, yet the story of the spirit Kate has never faded. In the peaceful land of Tennessee, where wheat fields sway in the wind and quiet rivers flow by, the name Bell Witch remains like a scar etched into the memory of generations. Locals still whisper about the eerie laughter echoing at night, the murmurs carried by the wind, and the sensation of being watched from the darkness of the old forest. Though more than a century has passed, the haunting has never truly disappeared. On the contrary, it has become an inseparable part of the community's history. The Bell family home, once filled with grief and horror, now exists only in memory. Time has swept away the old roof tiles and weathered wooden walls, but the land itself is still considered sacred and terrifying. People believe that anyone who dares approach on moonless nights will feel a chilling presence surrounding them, something not of this world. Stories of knocks at the door with no one there, objects moving on their own, or long wails drifting in the wind are told with grave seriousness. They believe Kate never truly left. From the late 19th to the early 20th century, as American society grew increasingly fascinated with the supernatural, the Bell Witch story once again became a hot topic. Local and national newspapers published accounts passed down by the Bell descendants. Spiritualists, adventurers, and even ministers traveled to Adams, the small village where it all began, to investigate. Some left disappointed, having witnessed nothing unusual, but others swore they had heard the shrill laughter in the night or felt an invisible hand touch their shoulder. These conflicting stories only deepened the mystery. One cannot forget the Bell Witch Cave, a damp and shadowy underground passage near the old Bell farm. The cave has long been regarded as the dwelling place of Kate's spirit. It is said that during storms, the howling wind inside sounds like the furious screams of a woman. Visitors claim to have seen shadows darting between rocks or heard footsteps behind them, only to turn and find no one there. Some insist the air inside grows so thick it becomes hard to breathe, as if an unseen hand were tightening around their chest. In the 20th and 21st centuries, with the rise of tourism, the Bell Witch became more than folklore. It entered American popular culture. Tourists flocked to Tennessee, eager to set foot on the haunted land. They followed guides with flashlights, hearts beating between excitement and fear. Paranormal TV crews camped outside the cave, hoping to capture images or sounds that might prove Kate's existence. No scientific evidence has ever been verified, yet the terrified expressions of those who emerged from the darkness told another story. Something is there. On cold winter nights, when thick fog blankets the fields, Adams residents often avoid the roads. They share new tales of Kate's unrest. Some claim to hear a woman weeping outside their windows. Others insist they've seen a white figure slipping in and out of the treeline. Children are warned not to play near the old Bell farm, for Kate might still be watching, just as she once tormented Betsy. These warnings, passed down for generations, have become part of local life. And yet, not everyone is afraid. Many see the Bell Witch as a source of artistic inspiration. Literature, films, and plays have retold John Bell's death and Betsy's torment from countless perspectives. Some interpret the Bell Witch as a symbol of social tension, family conflict, or even the oppression of women in earlier times. Others believe Kate Batts, the neighbor who once quarreled with the Bells, somehow bound her soul to the afterlife for revenge. Whether logical or bizarre, such theories only made the legend more famous. Today, when tourists enter the Bell Witch Cave, they carry both curiosity and unease. Signs warn, respect this place. Do not provoke what you do not understand. Some thrill-seeking youths call out Kate's name in the dark, only to flee in panic, claiming they heard a reply from deep within. Others have recorded strange sounds, faint laughter, unintelligible whispers, or dragging footsteps on the stones. Meanwhile, the scientific community remains divided. Psychologists argue that every phenomenon is a product of suggestion, fear, and group psychology. In dark, suffocating environments like the cave, people are prone to mishearing natural sounds as voices or mistaking shifting shadows for ghostly shapes. But some researchers are more open, admitting not everything can be explained so easily. Reports of electromagnetic disturbances, sudden temperature drops, and drained camera batteries in minutes remain puzzling. Such signs fall short of proof but raise unsettling questions. For Tennessee locals, the Bell Witch has become part of their identity. Each year, they hold small festivals commemorating the story, both to draw visitors and to remember the region's dark history. Children dress as Betsy or John Bell, while adults perform ghostly plays. Yet beneath the entertainment lies reverence. Deep down, they wonder, if Kate truly lingers, might she one day rise again? When night falls over rural Adams, as wind sweeps across the empty fields and moonlight spills onto the woods, the story of the Bell Witch comes alive once more. Some visitors swear they have heard a scream echoing from the cave, a cry tearing through the darkness. Many believe it serves as a reminder. There are things mankind can never control. Over generations, the tale has become a legacy of fear, mystery, and unending curiosity. Despite endless debates, one truth remains undeniable. The Bell Witch has become one of America's most famous ghost legends. It is no longer just a story of the Bell family, but of an entire region, even a nation. Tourists, journalists, researchers, and horror enthusiasts continue to journey to Adams to listen, to retell, and to experience the same chilling dread as those before them. Perhaps this unbroken chain of storytelling is the clearest proof of all. The Bell Witch endures, not only in the wind and the shadows, but within the hidden fears of the human heart. And when the candles die down in the old village, leaving only insects and rustling leaves, a faint whisper is said to linger in the air. I never left.